Hello, Advent family. I hope you're well. I was recently thinking back to my first role, one of the first roles that I played in the church as an adult Christian, a recent convert to Christianity. I was about 22 and I was worshiping in a church in North Carolina, and the leaders asked me to come, and they came to me and they asked if I would consider serving in the middle school youth ministry. And I immediately, my first reaction was to say, absolutely not. And I could think of at least 20 reasons why that was a horrible idea. I think the main reason is that I was terrified. I had not grown up going to youth ministry. I had never felt a sense of calling to minister to children or teens. I felt vastly underqualified. I had no idea what I was doing. And so I said no, but as we talked about it, it was clear that that's really where the need was in the church. And so after thinking and praying, I came back to them and I said that I would give it a try. And as I said, I was terrified. I had no idea going into that would end up being probably one of the most formative years for my faith and my sense of calling in my adult life. I had to figure out how to lead meetings. I had to figure out how to work with a team of leaders. I had to figure out how to teach the Bible. And as they say, one of the best ways to learn anything is to have to teach it. But most importantly, this ministry just involved building relationships with these kids. And I have to say, the relationships that we built went so far beyond anything that I expected. I can think back to all of the conversations that we had. The official youth gathering would be over, and we would just be sitting on the front steps of the church, just talking about life. And people would be asking questions, and we would be wrestling with things. It was this kind of life-on-life ministry. And I think it's safe to say that I got far more out of it than they did. And that year had such an impact on me that's really what set me on the course to eventually wanting to go to seminary, and then eventually after that, responding to God's call into ordained ministry, which led me to serve at Advent. And I've never looked back. And so as I think about that, and as I look at where our Church of the Advent is now, the same opportunity exists in our church for many of you. We have a growing number of children, roughly 150 children and teens. As we have made projections into the future, we realize that by 2027, we're going to have at least 30 teenagers alone. So these ministries and the needs that go along with them are growing, and that's a wonderful thing. That's a huge blessing. In order to sustain this growing ministry, we need more people to serve. Some of you are serving faithfully, and we couldn't do it without you. But we need a lot more people serving. The Family and Youth Ministries teams are currently recruiting volunteers for a number of positions. There are roles where you simply hang out and play with toddlers, and roles where you hang out with and spend time with teens. We need some people to show up and help teach or assist in Sunday school, youth and children's Sunday school classes. We need people to host or help lead youth group on Sunday evenings. So lots of different needs. And we are currently primarily looking to parents of kids in the church to fill these needs. We have a lot of people who are serving who don't have kids, and we have a lot of parents who are serving. But as we look at where the opportunities are to involve more people, we're really looking primarily to the parents in our church to fill these roles. Laura and I just sent in our dates, and we just made a commitment to help serve in the Sunday school and to help teach and assist for some of the classes this fall. And we're doing that primarily because we're parents and our kids are a part of these ministries, and so we feel like we need to be a part of these ministries as well. Scripture teaches that parents are the ones who bear primary responsibility for the discipleship and formation of their children. We see that in Deuteronomy chapter 6. And so our role as church leaders is to help come alongside and equip parents in their, to help fulfill that charge to disciple and invest in the spiritual growth of their children. But we really can't do that without your involvement. And our ideal is that everybody would be involved, so that everybody would be committing some of their time and energy to the spiritual formation of our children. I think when we look at our church and all of the ministries, and when we think about and pray about what kind of long-term impact we hope to have, I think it is beyond doubt that one of the most impactful things we can possibly do is invest in the spiritual formation of our children. And our hope and prayer is that everybody would be a part of that. And just like I experienced when I first had my first foray into this ministry years ago, I have seen again and again how God blesses us when we are willing to respond to this call and enter in and to do this kind of ministry. God blesses us in all kinds of ways. We grow in our faith. We get many times far more out of it than the kids get out of it. We have this opportunity to see God working and to see people taking steps of faith and to see kids coming to faith on their own. And so it's a tremendous opportunity. I mean, just this past year, I can't tell you how many times I walked out of our youth confirmation class. We had our youth confirmation classes immediately following church this past year on Sundays, and I would leave those classes just absolutely blown away. I was just so genuinely encouraged by the signs of spiritual growth that I saw in that group. It was one of my favorite things that I got to do, and I would love for all of you to have similar experiences. Additionally, we are inviting all of our children's and youth ministry volunteers, all of you who are taking part in this. There's actually going to be a mandatory training that's happening on Saturday, September 7th. I will be there. Our whole team will be there. And this is really, it's mandatory. We want everybody there because we think that it's crucial that as we are encouraging people in our congregation to engage in this ministry, that we are doing everything we can to support and equip you to do that. We think that's how the church is meant to operate. And so this is a chance for us to invest in you so that then you can turn around and invest in the children and youth of our church. And so I really hope that you'll make that a priority. That is Saturday, September 7th. We love to see everyone there. You can look at the announcements in the Friday email. They have more information on how you can sign up to volunteer, how you can register for the September 7th training. I encourage you, wherever you are right now, just to take some time to pray about how and where you can give some of your time and energy to the spiritual growth of our children. You will not regret it. I very much look forward to seeing you on Sunday. We are going to be rolling out our new church bulletin. This is something that we haven't really done since COVID, but we are reintroducing it, and there's a lot of great reasons why, connected to hospitality and spiritual formation and discipleship. Actually, a bulletin is just a great tool for all of those things. But I really hope to see you Sunday. I spent some time this morning praying for you. Pray that God would bless you, and I look forward to worshiping together.